when I have seen this attempt to assassinate Trump, I was convinced in the very moment that this man is on the level of the ideas he defends. He was and is real hero. He is not joking with the ideas. He is ready to sacrifice his life for the cause he believes in. So that was very serious, and I think that was that was intervention of God who has saved him, because some millimeters to the right, and he would be killed. So it is not game. And when I have seen Trump being in the front of the crowd, almost killed, but when he has risen up and still continued his discourse, that was a kind of on the level of the Greek tragedy. Or that was the heroic act that we should remember, because this man is not joking. He is ready to sacrifice his life for the cause of America, of American tradition, for Christ, for religion, and for the greatness of his civilization. That was really, really striking. So I think it is too late to kill Putin or Trump, because that trends they have started, the energies they have liberated, the powers they have awakened, they already transcend their human personalities.
That's right.
So this time, Trump 2.0, it is not Trump 1.0. He was lonely, he was individual in the first term, and now he is America. He is people. He has around him the new generation of American leaders, and they have shown already that they are capable to do some incredible things. Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, Pete Hegseth, Robert Kennedy, Pam Bondi, the press secretary of White House. So Trump and Putin, they are two figures. They belong to the intermediary age. They are just bridges between now and tomorrow, between present and the future, but they have already created these bridges. That in Roman language, the meaning of the term imper was, or pontifex, that was a kind of the other name for emperor, was the creator of the bridges. So Trump and Putin, they have installed already this process of the bridges to the future.
The government fears Alex Jones, who has the largest audience in the country, bigger than any of the networks, the biggest megaphone in the country.
The deep state hates Alex Jones with a vengeance.
Alex Jones is the most extraordinary person I've ever met.
For the last 30 years, Russia has been completely encircled by NATO, and we're overthrowing governments in places like Ukraine, Romania, just 2 months ago, openly bragging that the unelected EU Commission directed their intelligence units to overthrow and use a Soros-controlled judge to take the will of the people away, all because the new president, who's been on our show, is aware of the globalists and didn't want World War III and wanted Soros operations out of his country. But the globalists have problems. All over the world, people want their evil Satanism out of their country. We don't want to be colonized by the Rothschild globalist BlackRock system. And just as the U.S. has been infested with these NGOs, Russia has been infested, but has done a better job than us of kicking them out. And so now, on the 3rd anniversary of Russia and its special military operation being next Monday, the 24th, Trump had a very successful opening round of peace talks in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, with the Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov. And Russia put on the table, look, if the EU wants Ukraine economically and they want to do it, let them vote, they can go. But no NATO. No NATO on our border. It's the last straw. And that's completely reasonable and a giant concession. And Trump's, I want elections. Zelensky's got a 4% approval rating. He's a dictator. And Zelenskyy had already attacked before that press conference yesterday and said Trump's basically a Russian stooge. Absolutely ridiculous. Trump wants peace, doesn't want to attack Iran. He doesn't want war with China. He wants prosperity. Alexander Dugin is a leading political strategist, best-selling author. I'd call him a philosopher. Very interesting. And they've called him Putin's brain, but he'll disagree with that. But he has been very influential in not just elite circles, but in the general population in Russia. And he was targeted by the Ukrainian NATO forces last year, and they killed his daughter, Daria. It's terrible, and I hate to bring that up. I just want to point out how real this war is. The head Russian general over their biological and chemical systems exposed, which Victoria Nuland admitted, that the U.S. under Obama had built biological weapons facilities all over Ukraine. First they denied it, then they had to admit it, then they blew him up a few months ago. I mean, this is serious business, and I've seen these different Ukrainian groups say they want me dead, they want Jack Posobiec dead. They sent a U.S. CIA-trained guy out of Ukraine to try to go kill Trump at the golf course. I mean, this is a big deal. And you've got the deputy leader in Canada is on the WEF board and is a Ukrainian operative as well. I mean, they've got a Ukrainian really Nazi, I mean, they really are Nazis for real, lunatic group that I think is one of the most dangerous groups facing Americans for political assassination, not just Russians. But the man we have on right now, his daughter was brutally killed by these people. So that's the type of folks we're talking about, true terrorist here. He's on X at AG Dugin, D-U-G-I-N. I want to go to him here, who's been gracious to join us. But I first wanted to play a short clip, Alexander, of President Trump in the press conference yesterday. Here it is.
We're hearing that Russia wants to force Ukraine to hold new elections in order to sign any kind of a peace deal. Is that something that the U.S. would ever support?
Well, we have a situation where we haven't had elections in Ukraine, where we have martial law, essentially martial law in Ukraine, where the leader in Ukraine, I mean, I hate to say it, but he's down at 4% approval rating, and where a country has been blown to smithereens. You got most of the cities are laying on their sides. The buildings are collapsed. It looks like a massive demolition site. The whole, I mean, so many of the cities. I mean, they haven't done it in Kiev because I guess they don't want to shoot too many rockets in there. They've done it 20%, but they haven't done it 100%. If they wanted to do it 100%, it would probably happen very quickly. But you have cities that are absolutely decimated. And yeah, I would say that, you know, when they want a seat at the table, you could say the people have to, wouldn't the people of Ukraine have to say, like, you know, it's been a long time since we've had an election. That's not a Russia thing. That's something coming from me and coming from many other countries also. I believe President Zelenskyy said last week that he doesn't know where half of the money is that we gave him. Well, we gave them, I believe, $350 billion, but let's say it's something less than that, but it's a lot. Where is all the money that's been given? Where is it going? And nobody, I've never seen an accounting of it. We give hundreds of billions of dollars. I don't see any accounting. I could have made a deal for Ukraine that would have given them almost all of the land Everything, almost all of the land, and no people would have been killed, and no city would have been demolished, and not one dome would have been knocked down. When I left, there was no chance that this could have happened, but it happened because we had incompetent leadership at many different levels.
J.D. Vance has now warned Zelenskyy that he will, quote, regret bad-mouthing Trump, condemns his atrocious response. Zelenskyy is a known psychotic cokehead. Alexander Dugin, again, thank you for joining us. There's so much to talk about. Where would you like to go first?
So I think that now, Alex, thank you for inviting me, first of all. We are in a very special moment of the history of the world. We need to understand the radical changes. Everybody, maybe not everybody, but many people dreamed about the end of the globalist domination, dictatorship of the world. We dreamed how we could overthrow it, how we could resist it. This globalist dictatorship with woke liberal agenda imposed on the people, with their tools to implement their agenda through pandemic, through this the wars, the pressures, and what was absolutely unabated, what was absolutely unique in the situation, that the salvation has come from the main headquarters of globalism, from United States, and the victory of Trump, supported by the absolute majority of the American people, that was a kind of religious news, good news for the humanity, that globalist deep state that was at the origin of so many crimes against humanity was overthrown by American people. That is the real revolution, world revolution, much more important than the October Revolution. I think what has happened some months ago, and after Trump came to the office, that was the huge change in the global system of power. So, in the center of the globalism, of the globalist agenda that started the crimes, the terrorist attack, the color revolutions, the wars, all that was destroyed from inside, from American people. That is great. We could not understand the real importance of what has happened in the world, because the center of the global evil was taken as a hostage by the people, the powers of light and the justice and the traditional values. So the victory of Trump was something much more than just victory of Republicans, of Trump, of one individual. That was immense event, or in the metaphysical level of the history of humanity. So first of all, I would like to thank American people for making this choice, because it was your victory. It wasn't the victory of some group of people, political clans, and so on. That was the global victory of the light or the darkness. And that, in my opinion, that is much more important than everything else. So Ukrainian conflict, pandemics, and all the COVID exposure of the corrupted government of globalists, all these things are secondary in front of some much more important metaphysical event that is the victory of Trump. It is global victory. It is our victory. It is the victory of Europe. It is the victory of all the sincere part of the humanity that is on the side of the lie. That is eschatological event, I would say.
I 100% agree. I don't have the words to describe to my viewers and listeners, but they feel it and see it. But we know there's 87-year cycles, but this is a super cycle. It really is a fourth turning. It's not just here, but it's more dramatic here because this was the center of the power, because the U.S. coming out on top, merging with the British Empire at the end of World War II. Then all the corruption came in here, took over. It was waging war against us, doing terrible things here. Same things it was been doing around the world, literal pedophilia, the transgenderism. You did a great job with Tucker a few months ago breaking down the logical progression of liberalism and where it is now, and that it is the main threat. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, people now identify it, they understand the philosophy of it, and there is not to take away from America's victory, it's seismic, but everything is Newtonian physics. For every action, equal opposite reaction. So because things are so bad here, the resistance would be so good. We need to talk about, though, how the bad guys are going to strike back. But I tend to agree with where you're leading. This is irreversible, global political awakening, total political tectonic realignment, a once in a 1,000-year event. This is the equivalent of coming out of the Dark Ages. This is the equivalent of the Renaissance. This is but much bigger because of the speed and technology and the mass of people. And it's just beginning. It's accelerating. And Elon Musk wants to, have technological advancements, go interstellar, type 1 civilization. He absolutely hates war. Trump hates war. They are very transactional and also very aesthetic in that they like prettiness and happiness and all the good things that humanity celebrates. And the ugliness of the globalists, knowing that they wanted to offer tyranny, so they had to make us accept ugliness and break our will, but instead they woke up the sleeping giant of humanity, and now the tables have totally turned violently, and I don't mean physically violently, but violently against them. This is not a wave. This is a wave of tsunamis that are only getting bigger. Can you speak to that? And then I agree, we should do a big picture before we zoom in on trying to end this war in Ukraine. But looking at this, how the bad guys are going to strike back, because they're not giving up. Though they're having their funding cut off, they're being chopped up, but they're still not giving up.
So, first of all, I would like to underscore your words about the beauty. So, one of the first decree of Trump, who came to office, was in favor of the beautiful architecture. That was precisely the gesture of the imperial measure, imperial scale. So that was something like passage from republic to the empire, from the Republican Rome to the August, so the Golden Age, reinstauration of the Golden Age, and beauty, that is something divine. So I think that was very important gesture, important feature of Trump coming to the office. That was his decree in favor of the beauty. Plato has said the beauty is the God. We could not define what is beautiful or ugly without the touch of the God. That is very important. But coming to most concrete, most practical things, I think that Trump has made today absolutely incredible statement about the origins of the war in Ukraine. The war in the Ukraine was started by Biden, by globalists. That was a special operation to destroy Russia as not as country, but as obstacle on the way of globalists to install their new world order based on Great Reset and this globalist agenda. Russia rebelled against a new world order and declared the loyalty to the traditional values. Putin has made recently, some years ago, 2 years ago, the decree of the state defense of the traditional values. That was precisely the challenge against globalist agenda, woke day, and all this scam. And that was challenge to this global rule of this pedophile elite that has seized the control of the West. And now, and the Ukraine war and Zelenskyy were both were the tools to destroy Russia. And that was not about American national interests. Nothing of the American national interests in supporting this perverted creature of Zelenskyy to start the bloody war, terrorist attacks against us in Russia. That was not in the interest of United States of America. All the aid, all the military aid and financial aid to Zelenskyy was a kind of waste, a cost done for nothing, because no one real concrete interest of America as a national state was implied. So that was total waste in order to destroy Russia, and that this idea, this project has failed. So you have wasted so many money, so many weapons in order to crush Putin's Russia, traditional society, in order to get nothing, get nothing as a reward. So that was a kind of suicide for American interests. And I think
it only drove people into Russia and China's grasp. So expanding on that, I'm sure you saw it 3 weeks ago, the deputy head of the unelected EU Commission came out and she said, oh, yes, we're not just going to defeat Russia and Ukraine. We're going to break up Russia and get rid of the Russian culture, and started laughing. And it's, again, a woman who you can tell couldn't even, fight her way out of a wet paper bag. Then we see, obviously, Soros, we could still talk a few years ago, saying, I will be the czar of Russia, he. So they publicly say they hate Russia, want to destroy Russia. It comes out of that Russophile thing from the Trotskyites that got into the neocons and into the Russophobia of the top national security advisor who helped set up so much of this, Viktor Brzezinski. But then they'll act like, oh, we love Russia. No. But then meanwhile, on the other side of their mouth, oh, we're going to break them up. What did they expect Russia to do while they were saying we're going to break you up and putting weapons around you? I'm surprised by the restraint. And then they're still up there arrogantly saying we're going to go it alone without the United States. We're going to keep fighting Russia. Zelenskyy shooting his mouth off. There still is this invincible arrogance, or is that an act? Are they just acting confident?
So, first of all, you could not win the nuclear power without provoking nuclear war, nuclear Armageddon. So it is quite impossible, because being obliged to defend ourselves, and in the last moment we would use, and Putin has said that clearly, we would use the nuclear weapon if we could, if we would have no other solution. So that was the kind of suicidal attempt to stop us, to destroy us, to blow up us. But I think that had nothing to do with American concrete, realist, rational interests, national interests, nothing at all. That was a kind of religious hatred to the society, to the country, to the state that defends traditional values, that wants to return to the Christian roots of its.
Well, that's right. Hollywood loved Russia when it was communist, but boy, hates it now. And the fact that Rational minds saw the globalists pushing us towards nuclear war and joint collective planetary suicide, forced people to wake up and forced to break. The globalists overplayed their hand, and now it's backfired.
That exactly. But what is a real wonder? What is the real miracle of the present moment? That the salvation came not from our victory, from our readiness to defend our values, our sovereignty, our principles, our ideas, but the salvation came from the United States themselves. That is, I think, something incredible in the situation. So American people has played a crucial role in preventing global suicide. So American people has chosen life, future, natural interests. So American first and make American great.
Well, that's what Trump says. He says we're common sense. That's all.
Absolutely. That is not about accomplishing some religious heroic act. That was defense of common sense, because the people wants to live, to prosper, to be and not to be. That was the choice, but the Hamlet choice, the Shakespearean choice of American people, to be or not to be, and American people has chosen to be. And that
Alexander Dugin, stay right there. We'll be right back, sir. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I have delivered. My crew has delivered. Infowars has delivered victory against the globalist. And while Trump and Elon and the rest of Doge are shutting down the New World Order, they've still got their systems attacking us, and we are inches away from being shut down. We have been battling, and it's right up to the line, and thanks to you, we're still on air. So there is a critical place to keep us on the air and to assure whatever happens to Infowars, we stay on the air, and that is realalexjones.com. And at realalexjones.com, the Ultimate CMOS that's sold out, and the Shillogy and other incredible products are still available. If they're not available at thealexjonestore.com that supports Infowars, you can find them exclusively at realalexjones.com. And our 7th coin in the series the last 4 years, our fundraiser all-silver coin, Tip of the Spear, Veterans of the Infowar coin, is exclusively available now because it's sold out at thealexjonestore.com at realalexjones.com. I have delivered to you. I have stood up for you. And now I need your support right now to stay on the air, regardless of what happens to Infowars, at realalexjones.com. History's happening now. The ball's in your court. Take action now to complete our victory against the globalist at realalexjones.com. And myself and the crew and my family salute you. All right, I need to get Alexander Dugin back on for maybe a commercial-free show for an hour and a half so we can really get into everything deep, because what's happening in America, what's happening in Russia, what's happening everywhere, what's happening across Europe, Latin America, people understand there's a global corporate system that came out of the British Empire that merged with us after World War II. This is like mainline PhD political science, but the general public doesn't even know this stuff. It's like not debated, it's a fact. And then it uses leftist ideology to undermine, make people weak, make people alone, control them. And I believe for 30 years, we just exposed it, as their agenda got worse and worse, because they said what their agenda would be, all this horrible, you will eat the bugs, cut your son's genitals off, cut your daughter's breast off, conquer the world. This is an ideology of evil, and we were basically conquered by it, but not completely, and we struggled back. And then they persecuted Trump. They stole the election. All the lawfare, people saw how evil they were. 80+% of Americans were against being involved in the war in Ukraine. Zelensky's got a 4% approval rating. This stuff is not popular with the Germans, who are going bankrupt from it. Then they blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, half the gas in Europe, and they blame Putin for that. Now they're attacking nuclear reactors and blaming Putin for that. And we see headlines, oh, Medvedev falsely claims they might do a dirty bomb or a nuclear disaster. They're trying it. So, Alexander Dugin, I want to ask you first off, What was it like when you guys saw Trump shot? And then I saw Putin when he was even president-elect saying, we're worried he won't be able to live to get in there, and I'm still concerned. What was that like? And then I want to extrapolate out. God forbid we don't want it to happen. They already, murdered your daughter recently, and I'm sad to bring that up. I'm just pointing out how real this is. And then sent a Ukrainian operative to try to kill Trump again in Florida. What was it like when you saw that? What was the response by Russia? And then what do you think will happen if they do kill Trump? Because they're still going to try. I think that would blow up in their face even faster but make this get pretty violent quickly. And I'm actually concerned about that because of how destabilizing it'll be, though it would rout the globalists even faster. And then out of that larger question, or that small question, the larger question is, how are the bad guys going to strike back? How do you see them striking back, or are they giving up? Because, I mean, it's a large constellation of groups and organizations. Some are giving up. Some are acting like they're giving up, like Zuckerberg, but got caught still putting in billions to attack Trump right now with lawfare. And so I mean, that's a big question. But obviously, the bad guys are going to strike back.
Well, first of all, I think that the ideas, political ideas, religious ideas, philosophical ideas, they are very, very serious things. And the seriousness of them is measured by the possibility to be killed, to lose your life. So that is the price to have ideas. My daughter has written in her article and her so if you have ideas, the real ideas, you should be prepared to die for them. So when I have seen this attempt to assassinate Trump, I was convinced in the very moment that this man is on the level of the ideas he defends. He was and is real hero. He is not joking with the ideas. He is ready to sacrifice his life for the cause he believes in. So that was very serious, and I think that was that was intervention of God who has saved him, because some millimeters to the right and he would be killed. So it is not game, politics, ideas, opinions, conventions. They all are about that, about life.
Culture is the real wealth. Culture, a good culture is life. A bad culture is death. It's everything.
Absolutely. And when I have seen Trump being in the front of the crowd, almost killed, but when he has risen up and still continued his discourse, that was a kind of on the level of the Greek tragedy, or that was the heroic act that we should remember, because this man is not joking. He is ready to sacrifice his life for the cause of America, of American tradition, for Christ, for religion, and for the greatness of his civilization. That was really, really striking. And I think that I believed in Trump before, long before I was, we could say, his supporter, starting from the 2016, because I have identified in this man something more than just political. Well,
you can
leader.
also see how the bad guys hate him with a passion. That's the big indicator.
Yes, and that is that is interesting point. The people who really hate Trump and Trumpists, the very same people hate Russia, hate myself, hate Putin. The same people, the same crowd of people, they have killed my daughter. They have shed the blood of thousands of the Russian people in the Ukraine conflicts, they are the same, absolutely the same, with the same ideas, with the same connections, with the same hatred. So that is very important now in this talks, peace talks between United States and Russia, between Trump and Putin, to understand the real and deep nature of our enemies. They are not two kinds of enemy. Putin, people who hate Putin and the people who hate Trump. That is one and the same group of people who hate both, who try to kill us, to kill Trump, to kill Putin, to kill myself, to kill you. So that is about the totally new architecture of global reality. There are us and there are them. And them are not just Russophobic groups. They are as well as Russophobic, but as well Trumpophobic.
They hate any sovereign, strong country because they want a global government with a bunch of slaves, and they don't want any free nations, any sovereign nations, any unique nations, because they want global domination.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they attack from the shadow. They don't expose themselves to be the target. So we could not find them. They are hiding. For example, when my daughter was killed, I'm absolutely sure that Boris Johnson, who was at that time the Prime Minister of England, he has given this order to MI6 and Ukrainian terrorists who were only the tools of this assassination. But the real crime, the real responsibility is the responsibility, and the orders were given by globalists, and they're in the shadow. Nobody could take them to the cut. Nobody could say, you have killed us. You have tortured us. You have started this bloodshed in the Ukraine inside of the same people, because Ukrainians and us Russians, we are the same people. We are the same Russian world, and they have cut us at half, and they have destroyed the mentality of the Ukrainian part of Russian people, installing the wrong idea that.
Well, that's right. Napoleon and Hitler couldn't defeat Russia, and the Huns couldn't, and nobody else could, and the Muslims. What a genius plan to have Russians kill Russians.
So exactly, that was absolutely, that was satanic, and so nobody could conquer us except ourselves. And that was the kind of instigation, incitement to a civil war, Russians against Russians. And that was the worst thing that we could expect. So that, and all people who were behind that, who have started that, these people are still living. They are still living. They are hiding in the shadow, and we could not reach them.
And now Trump is cutting off. Now Trump is cutting off their funding, and all the Soros NGOs are collapsing.
Absolutely, but that is absolutely heroic. It is on the level of the Greek mythology, to destroy in one day, as Elon Musk has done in one day, in 2 days, USAID. That was a kind of killing Gorgon. That was the mythical action. Absolutely, and that was precisely much more than just cutting costs of or reveal the corruptioners in the American government.
But that's my next question. How are they going to strike back?
So that is, I think we should be prepared that they will try to to destroy us, to destroy Trump, to destroy J.D. Vance, to destroy Trumpists, to destroy Putin, to destroy all of us. And they have no moral code. So they kill, they could use all kind of terrorist and lies and terrorist groups in order to give to that the image that was something just accident. But we should understand each other on much better than before, because Russia is not the enemy of United States in no way. So United States are not the enemy of Russia in no way, but we have the enemy, and this enemy is inside of United States, inside of Europe, inside of Russia. They are everywhere. So we should be very careful dealing with this group of people who has no restrictions, no limits, no moral obligations, and they will use all the weapons they could imagine.
And that's why we're all in grave danger until they've been removed from every level of power. So expanding on this, what do you make of the ongoing peace negotiations? What do you make? I mean, we know who controls Zelenskyy, but specifically British intelligence is the group behind the Northern Group. France is heavily involved. The questions are, they don't have the money. They're shooting their mouths off. Obviously, Medyev's right. False flags against Russia, blaming Russia for nuclear disaster. I would say that's the next big move, or something along those lines. Looking at that, what do you make, though, of Zelensky's incredibly arrogant statements against Trump, calling him a Russian agent, basically, knowing that will just enrage Trump, because he's not a Russian agent. He's an agent of justice and civility and not being an insane, crazy person. So he's doing the exact thing that will make sure that Trump smashes him.
So, first of all, I think that any appeal, as long as I understand, today in the United States of America, to evoke something like Russian collusion, Russian trace, Russian gates, it is about a hoax. So there is the term, the Russian hoax. And anybody who tried to use this argument against Trump is doomed to be put aside or maybe judged, because now we have all the proofs that the claims that Trump was a kind of agent of Putin, they were recognized as false, and the people who has made such claims now are under investigation. So I think that that's the worst argument that Zelenskyy could find in order to influence Trump. Zelenskyy has declared the open war to the United States of America, saying that Trump is in collusion with Putin, so let us avoid him, let us be free from United States, let us concentrate on the support of European Union for this desperate war against Russia. That is suicidal move of Zelenskyy, and if Trump in one moment stops the military, political, financial aid and supply for Ukraine, I think in months, maybe in 2 months, it's maximum, there will be no Ukraine at all. So, I think that Zelenskyy, it is a person who is absolutely irresponsible regarding Ukraine. He has nothing to do with his Ukrainian national interests. His politics has led to the loss of the huge part of Ukraine, and he is losing more and more territories in spite of his.
How do you see it? Alexander Dugin, how do you see it ending for the parasite Zelenskyy?
So Zelenskyy, in my opinion, he is just the tool of the globalists. He participated in the campaign for Kamala Harris. He was created as artificial tool by globalists.
He's an actor. I mean, I agree. So I'm predicting, because he knows too much, I predict the globalists are going to kill him.
So that is quite possible, because he represents a kind of danger, a threat for globalists. They have created him from zero, from just comedian, just actor, not too much talented. He was nothing at all. He was zero, and globalists have created a kind of image of supporter of the liberal values, fighting against traditionalist Russia, defending LGBT, woke, and so on. And that was a pure movie, the bad movie, so B-movie. And he is a kind of actor of B-movie, acting like it was demanded from him, and now he discredits this globalist plot, and he should be exterminated, I think. And they will do that, and after that they will say, "Oh, Russians, they have liquidated him." But at the same time, maybe we need now Zelenskyy more than anybody, because he knows these things. He knows the hidden aspects.
I totally agree. If he was smart, he would have not tell anybody what he's doing, fly to D.C., come in and say, "I'll do whatever you say to Trump, protect me, let's end this." If he doesn't do that, the globalists are going to kill him and blame the Russians. In closing, and I want you to come back again soon, because I want to talk about philosophical stuff, your books, because I hadn't read your books. I read articles when you came on 10 years ago, and then I read the books, was very impressed and agree with a lot of it. 35,000-foot view. Before, how you saw the world and the power blocks, Russia, the land power, the old, British Empire, U.S., sea power, whatever, Atlantis. How do you see the new world shaking out? And and just briefly, because I know you take time to do it, and if you can stay a little bit longer, then that'd be fine. But in general, you did a great description in about 10 minutes with Tucker Carlson on the progression of liberalism and where it would go if not stopped. And then where do you think it's going to go now that it's being so repudiated?
So I think that Trump has started something much more than just adjustment of the advanced liberalism to some previous stages. Trump has started the full-scale conservative revolution. That is the kind of return to the eternal religious values. That is the end of the Western atheist materialist modernity. So that is much more than just return to the previous stage of the progression of liberalism. That is the beginning of the total change in the direction of the Western civilization. That is why I think the cycle of the four turnings of the straws and hoe, the end of the fourth turning in their theory coincide to something much greater, to the end of Kali Yuga, the end of the age of Iron Age, of the age of decline. So the Trump is a figure to accomplish with people like us, as Putin, as European traditionalists. He has to turn the page of the history and to return to not to the previous stage of liberalism, but also not so advanced as in the case of Biden and Soros and this LGBT and so on. That is something much more important. That is the end of the dark age, I think, and that is new geopolitics. It is not the West against the East, not sea power against land power. I am calling that, I have the name, distributed heartland. So America now, it is American heartland that has won of the American sea power and the same is going on in Russia. We are overcoming our liberals inside of Russia.
And let's be clear, you were writing this 30 years ago, and your ideas got picked up. And so a lot of right-wingers said, no, Russia's not really becoming traditionalist or Christian. That's fake. No, it's real. Everybody's seen it now in action. Everybody else has the same desire. It's not that we're adopting Russian propaganda. We're adopting who we already were and rediscovering who we are together. And it's just a wonderful thing, because they intended to have Western civilization and Christianity buried, but by taking us to the edge of oblivion, it actually made us realize how precious it was, because you don't know what you've lost until it's gone. Is that what you're saying?
So we need to rethink and revise the Western modernity. The modernity was absolutely wrong, because it has abandoned the Christianity, the tradition, the eternal values. That was totally wrong direction of the development of the humanity. And now with conservative revolution on both ends of the humanity in the United States and in Russia, in other places as well, that is return to the eternal roots, not to the past, not to the past. It is return to the eternity. Right. And eternity, the Christ, God, is always fresh. He is always new. He is the immense source of greatest energy. And I think that the fact that right tech, or the technology part of Trumpism, as well understands this challenge. So it is not against the future. It is not just return to the past. That is appeal to the eternal source.
Back to the future. Back to eternity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Alexander Dugin, I got a 2-minute break. Can you do 5 more minutes to finish up?
Yes, okay.
Great, thank you. And then, folks, Doge is moving quick. Trump's moving quick. He just declared a bunch of the Latin American gangs officially as terrorists. The Doge is going after the Ukraine stolen money, and Zelenskyy is completely flipping out. Stay with us. Well, an amazing, historic interview with Alexander Dugin, A.G. Dugin on X. Alexander, I've asked a lot of questions. You've answered them all graciously except one, because I was talking so fast. Let's talk worst case scenario, though. If they're able to kill Trump or Putin, who we both know they've been trying to kill a lot, just the Russians haven't made a big deal about it, but it's known. If people think Putin's bad, in the left, I mean, he's been very restrained compared to, from what I've heard in the scene, with what would come in if they do kill Putin. Same thing with Trump. I mean, you can logically look at the Hegelian dialectic, look at history, look at second order, third order consequences. If I was the New World Order, I would not, if I was the globalist, I would not touch a hair on Trump or Putin's chinny chin chin. But if they're dumb enough to do it, and I say that so that we can have a discussion about it, or if some lone nut's able to do it, what would happen if that unfolded?
No, I think it is too late to kill Putin or Trump, because that trends they have started, the energies they have liberated, the powers they have awakened, they already transcend their human personalities.
That's right.
So this time, Trump 2.0, it is not Trump 1.0. He was lonely, he was individual in the first term, and now he is America. He is people. He has around him the new generation of American leaders, and they have shown already that they are capable to do some incredible things. Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, Pete Hegseth, Robert Kennedy, Pam Bondi, the press secretary of White House, Leavitt, and Caroline Leavitt. And
the energy is so different and so refreshing. You're right, the revolution's so fast. If they strike down Trump or Putin like Obi-Wan Kenobi, they become even more powerful than they could possibly imagine.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. So Trump and Putin, they are two figures. They belong to the intermediary age. They are just bridges between now and tomorrow, between present and the future, but they have already created these bridges. That in Roman language, the meaning of the term emperor was, or pontifex, that was a kind of the other name for emperor, was the creator of the bridges. So Trump and Putin, they have installed already this process of the bridges to the future. And
Elon calls it a fork in the road. We've now taken the right fork.
Exactly. And I think that that will be totally stupid to try to eliminate them, because after them, there is the huge powers and strengths of the history of the humanity.
Instead, they're going to try to sabotage the recovery.
Yes, yes. So I think that our enemies are already done, essentially, on the level of the metaphysics of the history, and they, for sure, they will resist, they will continue their attacks, they will try to sabotage Trump's rule and Putin and so, but they have no chance to overcome us. This time, it is our age, I think, and nobody could stop us and our leaders.
Alexander Dugin, thank you so much. Come back soon, and I hopefully someday can come meet you in Russia or even here. God bless you, and thank you so much. Give my best to everybody. Thank you. Stay with us. All right, I'm cutting this update announcement on the evening of Tuesday, the 18th of February, 2025. You've seen the last 9 months incredible efforts by the Justice Department without court orders to close this place. You heard that Onion, backed by Bloomberg, had got us back in November. Then a judge overruled it. It has been wild. But finally, the final court battle has been set up and filed as of today. And the judge will set a hearing in the next week or so. Whether Infowars is going to survive or not will be decided. And I will be very soon breaking all this down on air and releasing a lot of incredible information about the Justice Department, the deep state's criminal activities, and documents we've gotten concerning what's happened. But regardless, we have set up the Alex Jones Network, backup studios. The small studio's done, the big studio's almost complete. There is massive expense that goes into that through our sponsors. And so when I tell you this, just like our information is the most accurate out there, when I tell you something about the future of this operation, it is dead on. That is the most pure information I've got. I never lie, but I get things wrong occasionally. But when it comes to the future of Infowars and what's really going on in the finances here, it is 100% accurate because I've got the facts in front of me. So regardless of what happens to Infowars, and I believe we're going to survive the things they've done, I believe they're going to be indicted for what they've done. The criminal investigations have now started, I've confirmed. And I'll soon release all these incredible documents. By the time you're probably seeing this announcement, I'm going to be putting it out. I've got 48 hours to do it. But that said, we don't have the funds we need to be able to successfully keep all the crew on and operate at the Alex Jones Network. So while I fight to keep Infowars on the air, I've got to ensure, fighting a two-front war, that's what the enemy did, that we have everything we need with bandwidth, servers, uplinks, satellite uplinks, legal, payroll. It goes on with the Alex Jones Network. You can follow at AJN Live on X. So This is a very simple decision you have to make as I fire the bat signal. In my 30-year war against the globalists, thanks to your support that has been historically successful, all by the grace of God. When you support realalexjones.com, that is a clone of the great bigly sponsor we have with thealexjonestore.com. All the exact same products, the same sales, all of it. When you support that, it 100% goes into two buckets. Getting the finishing touches done on the Alex Jones Network, because we don't leave stuff to chance, and our legal defense and offense against the bad guys and the lawsuits I've filed against the Justice Department and others. Now, the Trump Justice Department's come in now and is seeing all this, and the cavalry's coming, but it takes time. They got bigger fish to fry. So while we get ready for that final cavalry to come in, I need your support right now at realalexjones.com. And when I said it's a clone of thealexjonestore.com, run by the same sponsor, it is, except for one big thing. They allot a certain amount of products over to realalexjones.com, and then when products are sold out at thealexjonestore.com, they're still available at realalexjones.com. So they've sold out of the #1 bestseller, Irish Sea Moss, Ultimate Sea Moss, the strongest concentrate, an incredible super nutrient with 90+ minerals and vitamins, the very best organic iodine and more. That is sold out over at thealexjonestore.com, but it is available right now at realalexjones.com. Also, Shilajit, another incredible complex of super nutrients, amino acids that are only in this. It's the cleanest, best, strongest form of Shilajit. That is available at realalexjones.com. And then take this. As of tonight, cutting this announcement, Tuesday night, they have sold out of the 4,000 fundraiser coins of pure silver, minted and made in America, veterans of the Infowars, 1776, the 7th coin in the last 3 years we've offered. This is an amazing coin. Just the silver and the printing of it cost our sponsor $38 to make. We sell it for $99, but if you're a member and discounted, it's 70-something bucks. This is a memento. All the past coins sell on the resale market for double, triple what we even sold them. But I don't sell them as some financial instrument or something to make you money. It's your investment in freedom and the Second American Revolution. So we're defeating the globalist, but we're worried about Trump and Elon and Doge right now in the big picture. But when it comes to getting the news out, I'm coming to you for the support, and I need your support. So they held back 1,000 coins, and half of them are already sold at realalexjones.com. So as of cutting this, there's 500 left, or about 490. I just looked like 5 minutes ago, of these left. So these are gone at thealexjonestore.com. They're exclusively available at realalexjones.com. A piece of history to give to generations to know you're committed to the fight. And I want to thank those that have supported. For those that haven't or those that already did, and you want the coin, you didn't get the coin, it's available as well right now. And there's also limited edition daggers, all the other past knives have sold it very quickly. Those knives are on the verge of selling out at thealexjonestore.com, and that's to support Infowars, and that's great. But if you go to realalexjones.com, the combat dagger with Infowars on one side of the hilt and 7076 on the other, limited edition, laser edged, those are available as well, and so many other products. So thanks for keeping us in the fight. This is your fight. This is you really donating to your own future. This is your opportunity to join me as you've done in the past. And those are the folks who have supported. For those of you that have shared the articles and videos, things like that, you're great and I appreciate you. But for that small, less than 1% of the hundreds of millions of people we reach a day that actually share the videos, that's great. But for those of you that actually go and support and actually buy products, you are less than 1/10 of 1%. At realalexjones.com. So I want to thank all the past supporters and encourage those of you out there who've been on the fence. This isn't just some Netflix show. It's not something you punch up on your DVR. Now, this isn't some weird, fake political ideology and everybody with their hand out. This is the tip of the spear. We're taking over the culture. Our analysis of the world has been proven to be the most accurate by light years. So it's your opportunity to really back folks that are fighting for you and your family's future right now at realalexjones.com. But regardless, I want to thank you for your verbal support and sharing the links and articles over the years. We're in this together. But right now, this is a 15-round heavyweight championship fight. And you know, just like Al Pacino in that famous Any Given Sunday speech, talked about life's about a battle of inches. That's what's happening right now. So for those of you that kept us in the fight this long in a battle of inches, I salute you. But now we are 9 months pregnant in this. We are winning. We're over the top. We've turned the tide, but we can't just decide we've won and go back to sleep. We've won major battles. We haven't won the war. So go now to thealexjonesstore.com and support the great products that are there to support Infowars. But if you want to support the legal defense and the backup network, realalexjones.com is the place to go to get these great products. So please take action now. I can't do this without you. The #1 place to support and get the very best deals and products that are sold out is realalexjones.com to keep our operation going and to ensure we have the funds and equipment and money we need to continue to fight regardless of what the globalists do at realalexjones.com. I respectfully thank you and ask for your support now, because without you, we can't continue. Thank you so much.